Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Invitation to Puzzles, where today we have a Putteria puzzle by Malrog. Now, that's quite interesting because I've never done a Putteria puzzle before, nor had I really heard of the genre. And so, reminder, if you're ever in that instance, you can go in Puzzlink and click Rules, and so we can read together what the rules are. So we need to do the following. We need to place one number in a cell of each region on the board. The number in a region should be equal to the size of the region. Fair. Numbers can't be orthogonally adjacent. Identical numbers can't be placed in the same row or column. And cells marked with a cross cannot contain a number. Okay, so we end up with something like this. At the end of the day. Let's see if I can remember all of those. Unsurprisingly, this puzzle type first showed up in Nickely. Nickely, if you don't know, by the way, is a Japanese puzzle magazine that has come up with just about all of the types of puzzles that I do on this channel. So that is worth noting as well. Okay, so here is our Putteria puzzle. What are we doing with the Putteria puzzle? Okay, well, I've got to put a 2 in one of these two cells, a 2 in one of these two cells, I see. Sort of like a corner mark style, I suppose. I was looking for a 2, looking at a 2 that would help me place a thing, but I haven't seen that. These two 3s... Okay, well, here's at least something. These two 3s need a 3, and so one of those 3s is going to be in this row, and one of these 3s is going to be in this row. Well, no matter which of these two digits is a 3, that's never a number. Because one of these two is definitely a 3, and numbers can't be orthogonally adjacent. Okay. I see. And so now I note, so this is going to be like a Zach Wings the puzzle. And so let me explain what I mean by that. What I mean by that is this 4 omino, if I look at here, it needs a 4 in one of these 3 cells. And this 4 omino needs a 3 in one of these. Those are both in the same rows, though. And so that's going to be 2 4s in these 2 rows. That means I can't put a 4 in any of these 3 cells. And so therefore I have to put a 4 here. Okay, which means that I'm not doing that. So I am putting a 3 here. So I'm not putting a 3 in either of these places, and I am putting 1 here. Okay, so that is quite an interesting break-in. Okay, the 3 looks up now. That has to be the 3 in this one, just because this 3 looks up there. This 5... in this region, those 3 cells sort of look down at these, so none of these are the 5. And so now one of those 2 is a 5, so none of these 3 are the 5. Okay, and so now this, the boat, or the F if you prefer, it's got a 5 looking at it in one of these 2 cells and a 5 looking at it in one of these 2 cells, so that's definitely the 5 for the boat. So those aren't. This is bouncy in a very lovely way. Oh, I could have just even for this one. The 4 that ruled the 2 4s that ruled the cell out of, or the 4 out of those cells also ruled it out of these 3. So that was going to be a 4 right away, which makes that a 4 as well. I was about to argue that in a more sophisticated way by arguing about like how these saw the 4 in this, but in fact I just placed the 4 there and that'll make life better. So that's the 2. So that's not a thing. Okay, oh, these aren't 4s anymore because that 4 looked backwards at these 2. We've got an alignment of the 5s now because the 5s in this T and this P, those line up in these 2 columns, so there are no more 5s anywhere in these 2 columns. And so in particular, no 5s in any of those cells, so that's a 5. which does look across and say that's not a 5 and that's not a 5. Let's see. Okay, so that's not a 5 either. For what that's worth. That's not a 4. I should probably be more careful about my pencil marking here. It's not going to be a 4. Let's see. Yeah, sure. No, one of these two is going to be a 2. I don't think I know which one yet. Okay, well, that one's not the 4, at least. We can mark that. Does this 5 even see another 5? I guess it does. Kind of. Oh, yeah, okay. So, yeah, I can do... Yeah. I should have marked this before. These two, I said, saw these 3 cells in this 5. Well, they also see these 2 cells in this 5. And so these 3 cells in this 5, together with these 2 cells in this 5, they claim the 5s in column 2 and 3. I can only put 2 total 5s in column 2 and 3. And therefore, I can't put a 5 in either of those cells, is what I'm saying. Okay, and so now this is going to do it, because now look at these 2 5s in rows 3 and 4. They're going to take the 5s in rows 3 and 4, so that's not going to be a 5, and that is. But also, that's not going to be a 5, and so that is. And so these aren't 5s. Go at least that far. Oh, yeah, that's not something, because it's got a 4 looking up at it. So one of these two is a 4 looking down at that cell. I made some deduction about how the 3s were going to look in these. Oh, I think the deduction that I made was that this cell couldn't be in because of the 3s, and so I'm deducing that that's... I was thinking I was supposed to be repeating the same argument from the beginning, but I don't think I'm supposed to be repeating the same argument from the beginning. I think I'm supposed to note that that 4 sees that cell, and so it places that 4, which is in turn going to place that 5 and that 2, which is then going to place that 5, that 5, that 5, which places that 2 and that 2, and that 3, actually, just by... all of that was just by the no adjacent rules strung together. Let's see. Okay, that's not going to be a 5. Okay, so one of these two is a 5, and one of these... Okay, well, one of these two is a 5 is all I need to know, I think, to make at least a little more progress, because whichever of these two is a 5, it's telling me that's not a 4. And so that's the 4, which then tells me that's not the 5, so that is. So that's not the 5, so that is. This 4 looks over at that cell and tells me that's a 4, which then tells me that is a 2. Beautiful puzzle, Malrog. That was perfect. Perfect little Putteria there. So this is like a genre of like X-Wings or Zack-Wings or whatever you want to call them, basically. Quite interesting the way that geometry worked. I really liked... I'm pretty sure I guess I could have... Sorry, I broke it. I could have viewed the break-in as being about these 3 4s operating together rather than about the 3s, but I really liked the break-in of how these 3s and 4s played together to sort of get you into the puzzle. That was a very neat idea. All right, well, thank you, everyone, for joining me for my first Putteria. I got it right on the first try, unlike some recent puzzles that shall remain nameless. But thank you, everyone. If you're enjoying the content, do please give us a thumbs up, consider a subscription, and consider hitting the join button if you want the extra special features like the Zack emotes. as well as the ability to suggest puzzles for me to do on stream and that sort of thing at various levels, vote on what puzzles I do, all of those sorts of things. Also, reminder, I accept invitations for, or sorry, accept submissions for this series. So if you want to set your favorite pencil puzzle genre that I've never heard of at an appropriate level for this series, I'm willing to give it a shot. I'd be happy to have it. So thank you to Malrog and all the other regular contributors to the series. Thank you so much. I'll see you next time. Bye for now.